Hello and welcome back to Car Mechanic Simulator 2015, woohoo, etc. Yeah, good. So let's get it out of the way early. Yellow and black reflections. There's no yellow and black hazard tape anywhere. Good, that's that out of the way. Early doors. Right, so we're now still dealing with the tail end of our auction hijinks from a couple of episodes ago. We've got this Salem Kieran, I think, to do up. Now, I remembered after last episode as well that we had a couple of excess purchases that are sat in the parking. So we've got another Kieran here and a Flamo. So there we go. So after we've dealt with this Kieran, we've still got a couple of auction prodigies to deal with. That's a thing. Right, so we've got all our inventory gone. We've already done the bodywork. What there is of it is like a door. So let's dig straight into this Salem Kieran and we're going to just take it all apart and we're going to put it back together again and probably sell it. I'll see if I can even take it apart. I've forgotten. Just don't know what I'm doing. Why is this not coming off? There we go. Good. Right, it's going to be one of them mornings apparently. So bear with. Bear with. Yeah. Or, you know, don't. I can't control you. You could always fast forward to the end and see what happens. I think, without being too much of a spoiler, what will happen is this car will get better, and then it'll find an owner of its own and live a happily ever after story that even Disney couldn't come up with. Yeah, but if you don't believe me, skip to the end. I'll wait. Don't worry. Yeah, you made it back. Yeah, it was here that you left from. Yeah, so it was good, wasn't it? Yeah. Right, now travel with us and see the whole journey in its entirety. Yeah, that's right. 25 minutes of your life are about to be wasted. Right, good. That's all the self-deprecation done. Let's get on with some silent mechanicking. Take off ignition wires, which I usually forget. The little spark plugs. It's like doing your car mechanics from being stood on the other side of the room, isn't it? I could get a whole lot closer, to be fair. Right. That's the tune that's loaded on the player today. I don't think there's much else in there. Right, one camshaft. Oh no, it's got these chocolatey, well camouflaged chocolatey camshaft caps. 5 of, I believe, in the Kieran, and then we can take the camshaft out. And potentially the head. No, it's connected. Oh, I took the wires off. I forgot to take the coil off, of course. Yep. Okay, there we go. It's as far down from the top as we can go into the engine. Let's take off some of this other stuff. Alright, there we go. Good. So that's most of what we can do easily. Let's stick it up in the air. Then we can get all the running gear and exhaust and bottom of the engine out. Off. Out. Whatever. What? As they say, ever. Right. Chocolatey. It's the Chocolate E song. It's the only letter we had left. Zing, zing. Take your outer and your inner, and take the shock absorber off before the spring, and then the lower suspension arm. Don't have to do it in that order, but once you've got that off, you can then remove the knuckle. And we've got a finger. Oh, there we go. We've got to remove the knuckle, he says dramatically, having the knuckle actually disappear when you say it. Awesome. Right, there we go. That's all that. Get this drive shaft off. There we go. Drive shaft removed. Look at the chocolatey state of that engine. And then some exhaustings. Oh, can't get that last one. Have to be near the front of it. There we go. Fuel pump. on these fairly simple back ends. Just some leaf spring U-bolts holding on the suspension arm. Oh yeah, and some bush. That holds the arm on too. There we go. Brakes, of course. Brakey, brake. There we go. And then the drive axle. And then the knuckle, maybe. Yeah. So, U-bolts. U-bolt. Just change the emphasis on things, makes it very different. So like YouTube. YouTube. It's like you're calling someone a tube, see? The minutes of fun we have. One wheel of chocolate. That sounds like a fairground ride, doesn't it? Who will dare the wheel of chocolate? No? Okay. Maybe for a Willy Wonka factory ride. Right, there we go. That's all the rear removed. Oh, we still at the front. Look. I'll tell you what we could do. Is we could all the way over here for our special oil friend. Oil be your friend. Oh dear, I don't know what's got into me today, I'm afraid. I am feeling a bit dizzy, which may or may not be lending itself to my ability to be compass mentis, yeah. The thing I'm not. Where does this go? So I should usually dump it over here, next to my useless tool bin. There's a tool bin there I could leave it next to. Habits. They're quite habitual. Alright, so now we've done that, we can take off these crankshaft bearing caps for the sake of argument. And then the engine's ready to be yo-yoed, so let's just remove the other, that's the final part, final corner of the running gear. There we go. Springtime. Right, then we've got to get off the tie rods. Rubber bushings. The main suspension lump. What's it called? It's the main suspension lump, I think is its technical term. Front suspension cross member. Alright, so that's all that done. Now we have to yo-yo the engine. So then we've got to bring it down. We can remove the pistons. I'll tell you what we can't do. You have to do it whilst it's up in the air. We've got to take the gearbox off. Some cars you might be able to take the engine block and the gearbox out as one unit, depending on the amount of size. But not in this game. Do it properly. Well, if by properly I mean fully. Whatever. Anyway. Chocolate clutch for your chocolate gears. There we go, then we can remove the crankshaft and then that's a pretty quick strip down, he says. There we go, that's everything. Woo! Alright, so the next stage is to repair some of it. I say some of it because obviously some of it's beyond repair and some of it like that will break. Oh, a mini game where you drive to a parts shop and pick up the parts would be more fun than clicking this button repetitively, but you know, whatever. Right, then I want to cleanse my inventory by selling all the junk and then sorting by condition. Selling everything in 100%. I ain't one putting up 100% on my car, like, do I? No, sir, no. So much crap. There we go. And then, very simply, you continue the reverse of what we just did. Stick it all back on. Okay, apart from the bits we don't have, which are all of them so far. There we go, that's that. That's for the power steering on, so that's sorted. now twist the wheel very easily. There's nothing to turn though. Right, crankshaft, yes. 2 crankshaft bearing caps. So here's our first purchase. Crankshaft bearing cap. There we go. Charlie hockey sticks. What else have we got here? Got one of them. Front steering knuckle, super. Good. There we go. Settle down into the ease of fixing up a car. So we need running gear, innie and outie tie rods. And outie. And need a wheel hub cap. What else do we need? Oh, we need springs. Front springs. Front shock absorbers. Bolty. And then caps, probably. Yeah. Alright, and then we've got the sway bar, linky, majigger. Oh, we haven't got the sway bar in yet. Front sway bar. And then the sway bar front end link A. Sway bar front end link A. Okay. Oh yeah, rubber bushings. I'm not sure how many of those. 4 and 2 for the control arms at the back. So whatever they're called. 1, 2. 3, 4. Oh, we need a front steering knuckle A. Front wheel hub. And we want a lower suspension arm. Lower suspension arm. Bolting? Nothing? Whatever? Go on, in you go. Yeah, there we go. Right, outer tie rod. Spring, shock absorber, and cap. There we go, lovely jubbles. Oil filter I4. Lovely. Alright, we need a brake servo, we need a flywheel. Gearbox, flywheel, clutch plate. And a pressure plate. Good. Press all the wrong buttons. Where's my gearbox? And a clutch release bearing. Oh, there we go. And the gearbox I4 rear wheel drive. A little bit pricey. Still, can't not have one. It don't work like that. So, starter motor. No, not from here. What else needs doing on the suspension front? That's all of it on the suspension front. Alright, so let's do some exhausts. Front exhaust section I4 sockies. Front exhaust section I4 sock. Yep. And we've got, what's that? A cat and a middle muff. Cat and a middle muff. And a rear muffler V8 OOV. There we go, on the exhaust section. Let's look at this rear suspension-y stuff. Oh, we've got the drive shaft, that's good. Whee! It's like a real car now, look, front and back connected. Right, one of each of those. Solid control axle arm majigger. And a bushing. Leaf spring plate. Leaf spring U-bolt. So we've got like one half of the running gear here. We have to buy one of everything for the other side, which is always a bit irritating. Rear shock absorber B. Yeah, and then spring cap, spring and cap of that. What's this? Oh, brake discs. No, have to worry about that yet. Shock absorber, spring cap, spring, and spring cap. Oops, wrong button. Push in. And then we need the leaf spring plate, 2 U-bolts. Leaf spring plate, 2 U-bolts. Yeah. Oh, all the wrong buttons. Right, it's one of them days. Did I mention that? And then we need a rear knuckle housing C. Rear knuckle housing C. And what was it? Solid drive thingy. So I need a solid drive thingy, please. Got any of them? What's the number on that? What's the serial number? Oh, I don't know. 5. Right, so we need a fuel tank, and probably don't need a fuel filter, that's what I usually find out. Fuel tank, I just went past it. And then, I do need a fuel pump, well how about that? Right, so that's all that, apart from the brakes at the back. Oh, we've got the engine shenanigans to do, haven't we? So we need to bring it down. Right, and then we can do things like put the starter on. We need all sorts at the front of me, a water pump I4 and an alternator. Air filter, battery, alternator, water pump I4. Base, air filter, cover, and then see if we've got these clips. Usually only have 3 of them. Yeah. Clip A. Clip A. There we go. Radiator. Oh, no radiator. Actually, let's wait for the radiators to do this other stuff first. Oh. Oh yeah, pistons. Is that next? Yes, pistons. Pistons avec le conrod. I just confused myself then by thinking of something else. That, as you can see, completely stymied me. I've already forgotten what it was. It's not helping. Pistons with conrods. Just concentrate on what you're doing. Pistons with conrods. This is what happens when I'm trying to remember too many things. 1, 2, 3, 4. But not sure if we bought that last one. Let's buy an extra one just in case. Fuel filter, that was what I was thinking. If we go past fuel filter, pick one of those up. That completely fused my mind. Wow. I knew it was going to be one of those days. Alright, camshaft, and then a billion camshaft caps. No, they'll wear out. Camshaft caps near the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think. 1, 2, 3 camshaft caps. Wah ha 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 ha. 4, 5. Wah ha 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 ha. Cam gear I4 socks. Cam gear I4 socks. Cam gear I4 socks. Cha la 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 la. Why am I singing a song? Right, and then we've got a timing belt, also with socks on. RST for timing belt. Timing belt with socks. And then belt tensioner, of course. Belt tensioner, of course. And timing gear, which was right next to on the list before. Timing gear, I4 socks. That's I4, I hope that's the right one. It's not. That was $35 well spent. I like the fact they're all in slightly different positions on the list. Wait, that's a lie. Crankshaft pulley. Crankshaft pulley. Is it because I haven't got that? Crankshaft pulley. I4. Must be. Makes sense confidently. After having already made that mistake once. There we go. Finally get it on. An idle roller A. Or idler roller. I always call them idle rollers. Idle roller A. And what else? Oh yeah, belts, of course. So we've got a serpentine belt, I4 socks. Serpentine belt, I4 socks. And then what, serpentine belt A is it? Am I remembering? Dear crikey, on a bicycle. I remembered something. With my head feeling as wrecked as it does. Maybe it only works. Maybe memory only works when my brain's feeling mashed. Ugh. Oh. Ugh. Right. Wow. Nope. Oh yeah, spark plugs. Sparkle pluggle. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And then we've got an ignition coil. Does that get fixed? Nope. Ignition coil for an I4 jobbles. Where's that? There it is. And then some little leads. Little leads. Ignition cables, are they called? Wires? I4 socket. Look at the name. There we go. Intake manifold. Yes. Good, good. Then we've got the fuel rail and the throttle to put on that. Fuel rail. No idea what fuel rail is. Fuel rail MPI. There it is. Fuel rail MPI and a throttle I4. Fuel filter. I remember not buying one of them before. There we go. Oh, a brake. Oh, an ABS pump, that's fixed. The module isn't though, so an ABS module and possibly a servo. Module, bolty bolts. All the bolts, bolty bolts, and brake servo. Okay, that's looking good. Engine area, looking good. Right, let's put the oil pan and some brakes. That might be almost it. No parts to assemble, so an I4 oil pan plizzle. It's not going to be in the brake section, is it? Oil pan, somewhere in the middle. I4. Ah, yes, we need a radiator as well. Anything else to go on underneath? Doesn't look like it. So we can bring it back down again, I think. Obviously, there'll be something I have forgotten, but you know. Where would life be without the fun stuffs? Right, radiator. Rapido. Ooh. Whoops. Radiator and a radiator fan. Okay, so that is all done. Whilst we remember, let's do this. There we go. I'll overfill it. So then, I think it might just be brakes and wheel hubcap and brakes. Brake disc ventilated. So brakes. Brake disc ventilated, pad, and do we have some calipers? We do. And how many wheels do we have left? Oh, can't put the wheel on. Aha. There we go. We've got at least 3 wheels, that's good. They've shined up pretty well considering their chocolatey past. Just to be fair, it's probably just dripped off this vehicle. Look at it. It's got, well, part of me says it's chocolatey, part of me says bad previous day on the food. Something went bad in my stomach, and this is what came out. That was gross. Good. Right, so we need some normal brake discs for the back. Oh, 2 more pads. And 1 caliper, And yeah, 1 classic rim 13 as well. So, rim classic 13. Let's go to the wheel shop. Rim classic 13. There we go. But it's fantastically incorrect reflections. Alright, so how are we doing there? I think that is done. No restoration bonus as yet though, because the bodywork is, well, it's not even extant really. So we need left doors. Oh, and let's just double check this is a category. No, it's a Kieran. That's a good work. By the wrong bloody doors then, wasn't I? Salem Kieran. So need a front left and a rear left door. And a left fender. Front left fender. And full light set. So I'm going to keep this one. Let's say no for now. So I'm just going to put all the generic crap in it. So a hood, headlight, front bumper, right headlight. So that's all this. Then we need a front right fender and front right door. Front right fender, front right door. Oh. And then we need a right tail light and a trunk. Right tail light and a trunk. And now I think it's ready. Woo! You get an extra 13 grand for that. So there we go, 44 grand's worth of car. Please. So now we've got over $200,000. I'll tell you what, I'm going to waste 100 grand of it straight away. I'm buying this totally useless parking. There we go. Right, so we've got this Kieran and Flamo to do up next, and so I don't forget, I'm going to visit the parking and send them back. I presume I post them up this door. Nope. Well, that took forever to load in. Why did it take so long to load in? There is actually a door in here. I was proposing that maybe I can't see a stairs entrance though. It doesn't. You can't walk around your garage though. So basically, it takes almost a minute to load up, and all you can do is flick through your cars. Right, move car to garage. Move car to garage. So you look at the yellow and black reflections in here. Look, there's not even any tape on the floor. In fact, the closest to it is just blue and black. Psst. Makes you not want chrome. You can see the reflections of the lights on the grill. Bah humbug! Right, let's go out to the garage. I hope it doesn't take 10 minutes to load. Nope. Hey, right. So there we go, these are our 2 coming project cars. Potentially this Kieran can stay with us when we're finished with it. And this Flamo. I don't get a huge amount of money for doing these. Oops. But, you know, we'll get some. Right, that's it for today. Enjoy your rest of whatever it is you're doing, and come back for some more reflection-based anger and car mechanic simulation in the coming days. No, I don't know why I've gone all prophetic. It's like pathetic, but slightly more future-seeing. Oh, for God's sake, shut up, me.